One thing we do get, though, is an election is in front of us. And there's a lot of concern and anxiety around this November's election in terms of making sure that you can conduct yourself in a safe way and to make sure your health is protected and to make sure that we are reaching out to all registered eligible voters and giving them the opportunity and giving them the choice not to feel like they have to go into a concentrated, dense environment where their health may be at risk, but provide an additional asset and additional resources by way of voting by mail. I signed an executive order about an hour ago that will allow every registered voter in the state of California to receive a mail-in ballot. That mail-in ballot is important, but it's not an exclusive substitute to physical locations. People that otherwise are not familiar with mail-in ballots, are uncomfortable with them, may have disabilities, may have other issues that may preclude that as an appropriate option. We still want to have the appropriate number of physical sites for people to vote as well. We've been working with our extraordinary Secretary of State, Alex Padilla, for many, many months on this. He has not hesitated since the beginning of this pandemic to make this one of his top priorities. We're also working with legislative leaders that also want to share their voice in this space as well. In the executive order to release a framework of getting a mail-in ballot, we also have put in some specific language about the need in the next days and weeks, by the end of this month at the latest, to put together a very detailed plan on physical locations that need to be set up for our ballot this November. And that's why I'm very pleased that we have Alex Padilla on the line, who's been working overtime to put all this together, to remind everybody of the importance of getting these physical locations up and doing so in very short order. And with that, I want to invite our Secretary of State to share a few words. Alex?
Great. Thank you, Mr. Governor. And let me join the chorus of so many Californians in saying thank you for your tremendous leadership during this pandemic. The fact that the numbers are as low in California compared to the size of our population is due to the tough decisions you made at the beginning and the cooperation of so many Californians, as you know. So while you and public health experts are focused on the short-term impacts of COVID-19, we're also focusing on the midterm and longer-term impacts, including the November elections, as you said. So thank you for the executive order that makes California the first state in the nation to respond to COVID-19 by taking this action of sending every voter a ballot in the mail in advance of the November election. I think that's huge. There's no safer, physically distancing, healthier way to exercise your right to vote than from the safety and convenience of your own home. And I'll also remind everybody listening here that in California, thanks to the legislature and to you, voters don't have to scramble for stamps anymore. Return postage is prepaid on those vote by mail ballots. So it's great for public health. It's great for voting rights. It's going to be great for participation because this November's election is still slated to be the most consequential election of our lifetime. And I appreciate your acknowledgement again, this is not a vote by mail only election. We remain committed to providing as many safe in-person opportunities to vote as possible, both on and before Election Day. And on this note, I'll just suggest that elections officials at the state and local level are going to work hard to maintain that, but we're going to need the public's help. We're going to need voters to verify their registration status, which they can do so easily at voterstatus.sos.ca.gov. Make sure their registration information is up to date and current so we know exactly where to send those vote by mail ballots. We're asking voters to share a good email address with us so we can continue to communicate with them effectively and safely between now and the election. Anybody who needs to update their registration information or register for the first time can do so at registertovote.ca.gov. And last but not least, in the interest of our county partners here, we need poll workers. A lot of the election day workforce in years past, all the seniors and retirees that have helped us demonstrate our democracy, are not available. They're in that vulnerable population that you've spoken so much about over the course of the last couple of months. So we need people who are able and willing and healthy to help us out on election day and the early voting time period to sign up. Another opportunity for civic duty and civic participation and community leaders' guidance on finding newer, safer locations to use as polling places and vote centers. So a lot of work that remains, but this is a huge first step, sending everybody a ballot, not a vote by mail ballot application, but the actual ballot in advance of the election while we work to maintain the in-person option. So thank you again. We'll hang on, answer your questions or any other questions you want to send our way.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Again, thank you for all your leadership and your guidance and your support of the development of the executive order and all of your outstanding work of inclusivity and with members of the legislature, key members of the legislature, and many advocates in this space that were eager to hear this announcement today. Thank you for helping us get this to this point and all the hard work I know you have ahead of you to make sure that this is a secure election and that we are conducting it at a scale that only California can. So thank you.